Hi guys, welcome back to the Batcave, and this week's movie review, The Huntsman Winter's War. Now, this film is not only a sequel, but serves as a prequel to the original Huntsman film. It actually brings back Chris Hemsworth as the character of the Huntsman, and also introduces us to new characters in this film, such as Jessica Chastain as the character of Sara, who serves as a love interest to the Huntsman in this film. We also get to meet Emily Blunt as the character Freya, who's the sister of the evil queen Ravenna from the original Huntsman film, being played by Charlize Theron. And if you hadn't seen it, and those names don't mean anything to you, I'm sorry. I'm familiar with the film, but if you're a big fan of it, then you'll know all the characters that I just mentioned. Now, this movie takes place to serve as an origin for the actual Huntsman character, but also gets us to understand the relationship between Freya and the evil queen Ravenna, and how they kind of play out through this film. Now, as I do in all these reviews, we give you the goods and the bads. So the goods are the things that I like, the bads are the things that I didn't like. If this is the first time you're watching this review. So I want to start with the goods. The goods of this film is that, the special effects looked really, really well. The movie is a very, very pretty movie, and the backdrops and things of that sort, but you get to see Freya's ice powers. I mean, she didn't use them quite a bit, but when she did use them, they looked great, and it was kind of interesting ways for her to use them. Other things that I liked about this film is always Chris Hemsworth. He's a very charismatic actor, and it always comes across in whatever character he plays. I'm starting to think that he's always Chris Hemsworth, no matter what he plays, and it's always Thor. But it served its purpose, and it was basically a way to bring levity to his kind of strong, brave character. I will say other things that I liked about it was Charlize Theron being on screen when she was on screen. I think she did a great job in the original Huntsman, and I think she still brings that same presence that she had in the original one to the character in this film. Emily Blunt's character was a little bit more reserved, so you didn't get to quite see a lot of the acting skills from Emily Blunt, but I think she still did a great job for what she was given in this particular role. Now, the things that I didn't like about this film is that the plot is super predictable, and I'm not going to go into too many details about the plot, but it revolves around like why they do what they do and what their ultimate goal was in the original film into this film, because for me to really go into the plot gives too much away in this particular review for it not to be a spoiler one. Yeah. So the plot's super predictable, and once you actually see it in the beginning, you really already know where they're gonna go and what's gonna be the outcome of this film. The other thing that I didn't like about this film is that it really didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to be a sequel to the original Huntsman film as a sequel to Snow White. It didn't know if it wanted to be a spin-off film for Chris Hemsworth Huntsman character. It didn't know if it wanted to be a Lord of the Rings film, and it has something to do with the magic mirror, and when you see it kind of unfold, you really get a Lord of the Rings vibe with this film. Or if it wanted to be Frozen Part 2, because when you really get into Freya's reasoning and where she's at, it's totally Frozen. I can't even joke about it. It totally comes off as Frozen, except with a different ending, obviously. But should you see this film, I would say if you're a fan of the original Huntsman film, then definitely go ahead and see it, because you'll want to be back in that universe again. It's something that you enjoyed the first time, and I assume that you'll enjoy it again. If you're into fantasy type films, so like if you're a Lord of the Rings fan, and I know I made a joke about it, not knowing if it wanted to be a Lord of the Rings film, but it takes you in that type of setting, so you'll enjoy that as well. If you like action fantasy, you'll enjoy it. If you have kids who may have seen the trailers, they'll probably enjoy this as well. My kids enjoyed it. I just think it had some problems that I couldn't get quite past, like some dwarves that didn't serve a point, but my kids loved them. So I wouldn't say it's for super young kids, but maybe 10 to 13 age, they'll probably get a big kick out of this film. Outside of that, if you don't fall in those particular categories and those molds, I would probably say, wait till it comes on Netflix, wait till it comes out for Redbox, or if you don't have anything else to go watch, maybe you might want to go watch it. It's a popcorn flick. You can't expect it to to really give you a whole lot, just to kind of something to give you a little bit of enjoyment and waste a couple hours of your time. So I think that's all I got really on this particular review. I'm gonna be back next week. I haven't decided what next week's movie is gonna be, but we'll be a review up next week, and we'll go from there. But like we always say in any of these films, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely want to hear what you guys' thoughts are about this film, what you got out of it, what you didn't like, what you did like, and if this review got you guys out to go see it, or may just stay away from it. But with that said, I'm Terrence. Take it easy, guys.